Hi, I'm Reid and welcome to this instructional video on faded guidance. If you haven't already, I recommend first watching our problem pairs video, as the faded guidance technique builds upon these concepts. In our OCA lessons, we use an I do, we do, you do structure. In the I do section, teachers model a concept or skill. The we do section involves guided practice, where teachers help students practice the skill. Faded guidance sits within the we do section and acts as an intermediate step between teacher-led modelling and independent practice. Think of teaching as a continuum. On one end, you have complete teacher-led instruction, and on the other, total student-led practice. Faded guidance is a tool that can be used in the transitional phase of we do, gradually shifting the emphasis from teacher support to student independence, based on students' responses and needs. The goal of guided practice is the gradual release of students from being fully led by the teacher to confidently practicing on their own. This back and forth process is highly interactive, with teachers continually gauging students' understanding and adjusting their support accordingly. In the first video, we looked at problem pairs. With faded guidance, we offer an additional layer of support, especially when introducing entirely new concepts to students. It begins similarly to problem pairs, but with more teacher-led scaffolding. Faded guidance typically gets used when even more support and scaffolding is required than that provided by problem pairs. In this case, we have a faded guidance question for the addition split strategy. In the worked example, we've split the 6 into the 2 and the 4. We add the 2 to 48 and bring it to 50, then 4 to bring it to 54, right? A pretty traditional strategy. The teacher models that strategy, then leaves it on the board as a worked example. Now, instead of going to a question where the students will do all the paired questions on their own, we're going to use a faded guidance strategy. In faded guidance, the teacher works through the first few elements of the problem before the students take over. So in this example, I have 45 plus 6. The teacher does the initial work and thinking in this faded guidance problem, breaking the 6 into the 5 and the 1, then adding that 5 to the 45 to get 50. The bit that the student needs to do is in the box. So the teacher's doing most of the work on the question, and then there's this one last little step that the student needs to do to finish off the problem. As students get more of an idea about the concept, the teacher does less of the work, and the student takes on more until they're able to complete all of the question independently. A key element of faded guidance is we're reducing the support from the last step through to the first step. We don't start reducing from the first to the end, as it's less effective. So if your students need a bit more scaffolding and support during guided practice, why not give faded guidance problems a try?